What is up, guys? Kpez here, and it's Saturday, so it's time to go over some more amazing fan-made exotics for Destiny. Now, all of the exotics you're going to see in this video came from the comment section of last week's video. This is the only place that you can leave your exotic weapon or armor idea and have a realistic concept art made for it. And that's because I've partnered with the artist Benjamin Radiman, whose art station is linked in the description down below. After the video, you should definitely check it out for more information on the exotics we're showing today, more exotics that didn't make the video, and speed builds on how he actually makes these weapons. Near the end of the video, I'm also going to talk about the proper way to submit your exotic idea and some tips for getting chosen. Now, without further ado, let's get started on this week's exotic concepts with the next scale exotic sniper rifle concept by William Gressier. This crazy looking sniper has some crazy abilities to match. The first one is a passive perk called the next scale. Getting precision kills with this weapon makes the scales on its side expand outwards and protect the user from precision hits for 4 seconds. Now, for the exotic perk, you can select one of two different perks. You can select extended scales. 3 precision kills with this weapon will make your body harden with scales that protect you while standing, lasts until death. Or hardened scales. Protection from the next scale perk is increased by 4 seconds. Now, my thoughts on this weapon is that all of the perks and abilities seem very interesting and very unique. I just think that they might be a little bit too powerful in terms of the time they last. 8 seconds resisting precision shots is quite a lot. Now, of course, if you changed, being immune to precision shots to simply resisting them or them dealing you less damage, that would be a lot more balanced while still maintaining a very useful and unique ability. I really do like the idea of a sniper that rewards your precision with protection. And of course, it's only with that sniper. If you switch to a different weapon, obviously the scales won't be there to protect you. So you're really going to have to commit to using this sniper. And again, getting that accurate kill, getting those precision shots will reward you with a little bit more defensive abilities. Moving on, the next exotic concept we're going over is the Wailing Banshee exotic shotgun concept by FROSTYNARWALL. Now, this sweet looking shotgun has a pretty simplistic exotic perk called Thrill of the Hunt. Every kill with this weapon increases your agility stat by 1 until it's completely maxed. This effect lasts until you reload, swap weapons, or die. Now again, very simplistic and also very balanced. I would actually add on another factor like an increase to recovery as well, but I really do like this idea. You get a kill, you move a little bit faster. You get another kill, you move a little bit faster. Until near the end of the magazine, you are quite the force to be reckoned with. That ability is also just perfect with a shotgun. I don't think any other gun type would be quite as useful with that same perk. Now, the next exotic concept we're going over is a big one. The Romulus and Remus exotic akimbo hand cannon concept by, again, FROSTYNARWALL. Now, I see so many different comments asking for akimbo hand cannons, so here we have it. Now, the passive perk on this weapon is of course going to be that you can't actually aim down sights when using these dual hand cannons. You can only hipfire, which remember is a huge balancing factor, especially in something like Destiny. When we're talking about PvP especially, landing those headshots are such an important part in getting the kill quickly and winning gunfights. Eliminating the possibility to accurately aim down sights and do that is a huge downside. Now, the exotic perk for this weapon wasn't built in a day, which of course refers to Romulus and Remus being the founders of Rome in the legendary story. For every kill with this weapon, it refills the magazine just by a little bit by adding 1 additional round to each one of your magazines. Remember, you're going to have 2 magazines with this weapon. Additionally, every kill is going to grant bonus accuracy until death or switching weapons. Now, I actually really do like the idea for this weapon. There's a little bit of confusion with the perk for this weapon. Initially, it said to refill the entire magazine, but I think that would just be completely overpowered if it refilled the entire magazine upon just getting a kill. But I think the better way to go is just to increase the magazine size, for example, or just add one extra bullet to the magazine upon a kill. That's going to let you go on streaks or get quick double or triple kills a lot easier without making this weapon overpowered. The increase to accuracy with this weapon is really interesting. Of course, it rides the fine line of being very useful and very overpowered depending on how much accuracy is increased. But you can just increase it by a reasonable amount and keep that from getting overpowered very easily. And I do really like that idea. Having to get close, get that first initial kill, and then actually getting an increase to accuracy, helping you out with other kills in the future. Again, not being able to aim down sights is bigger than most people think. Yes, you are technically doubling your rate of fire, which is obviously great, but that huge loss to accuracy will become a factor. The more I even just talk about it and the more I look at that picture, I just want dual hand cannons in the game. I want akimbo exotic hand cannons in Destiny. It would just be so awesome. It wouldn't be overpowered, it would be completely balanced because you would have to hip fire them. And forget about PvP, for goodness sakes. How fun would it be to run around in PvE with akimbo hand cannons? I absolutely would love these to make it into Destiny. Now, the next exotic concept we're going over is the Desperado exotic sniper rifle by Kpez. This weapon has two unique perks. The main perk is simply going to make it so that precision kills have a chance to award an extra bullet to the magazine. This is totally fine, like a very average perk for a sniper rifle. That would be quite good. You get a precision kill, you have a chance to get +1 ammunition to your magazine. Quite useful, not overpowered in the slightest, and going to be used in PvP and PvE just for that reason. The exotic perk, however, is a lot more interesting. It's called Final Stand. When you have no ammunition in this gun's magazine, you turn invisible for 5 seconds after firing the final shot, and you don't appear on other players' radar, just as if you were crouching. Now, of course, this gun has to be equipped for that to happen. Now, that's a very interesting perk, turning invisible after firing the last round in your magazine. So if you try to reload beforehand, if you fire just, 1 or 2 shots of this gun's magazine, by the way, no mention is made of the magazine size for this weapon, but I would assume it would be around 4 or 5. But again, if you try to pre-reload, you're going to not get this effect. You're only going to get this very useful perk if you fire all 4 or 5 rounds in that magazine, which is quite an interesting conundrum. Like, do you reload when it's advantageous, or do you try to get this perk to happen? I actually like this perk a lot. Now, of course, 5 seconds could be pushing it in terms of power level, so you could just have this exact same perk, but just lower the time to 3 seconds, and it would be a fantastic gun. I think this weapon would also be pretty useful in PvE. If I think of a lot of boss fights, you basically get 1 magazine from a sniper rifle on the boss before they aggro on you and start shooting you. How useful would it be to get that last round out and then turn invisible? The boss isn't shooting at you because they don't know where you are, or you're able to reposition. That would actually be very useful. Now, moving on to the last exotic concept we're going over today, another sniper rifle, the Javelin exotic sniper rifle by Lahey. Now, this weapon, first of all, looks amazing, and I love the Mass Effect 3 reference. For those of you who don't know, the Javelin was an incredibly powerful sniper rifle in Mass Effect 3. Now, I absolutely love the exotic perk idea for this weapon. It's called the Javelin. Each successive shot in a single target increases damage, starts at lowest impact, and on final shot will have damage greater than the Zen Meteor. Missing a shot also resets the progress of this ability. Now, first of all, of course, this would be totally balanced in PvP. This effect really isn't going to come up too much then. It may still be utilized if it's a very good sniper rifle with good base stats, but in PvE is where this gun is going to shine. If you're shooting a single target, if you're shooting, you know, a raid boss or a strike boss, getting shot after shot after shot of its 4-round magazine is going to make each shot do more and more and more damage. Again, with the final shot doing more damage than the final shot of the Zen Meteor, which is of course huge. Now, of course, that doesn't just make this weapon better than the Zen Meteor. They have very different applications. Of course, the Zen Meteor can spread out its damage to multiple different targets, whereas this weapon, the Javelin, would only be able to deal all of that damage to a single target. So maybe a very powerful, even a Vex Minotaur being able to shoot that, you know, 4 times in a row and absolutely decimate that, very useful. But again, this is mainly going to be a boss killer. And it would actually be quite the interesting debate on which sniper rifle to use when fighting bosses. Do you use something like the Black Spindle, where it can get its damage very consistently, and if you have a lot of ammunition, you can shoot so often and put forth so much damage over a period of time, whereas this weapon would likely deal more damage than the Black Spindle over a very short period of time, but considering you still have to reload it, you're going to lose that overall damage output over a long period of time. I think there would be, you know, pretty interesting debates to see which gun is better. For example, the Black Spindle might be better against Golgroth, where you can get so much damage on him over a long period of time and you don't have to reload, whereas this weapon, the Javelin, will be better against strike bosses because they shoot back at you and you have to move after only 1 magazine anyways. Very interesting design. Would love to see something like this make its way into Destiny. Now that's going to be it for the exotic concepts we're showcasing in today's video. If you want to leave your idea for an exotic weapon or armor piece, all you need to do is reply in the thread of one of the comments I'm going to leave in the comment section down below. So I'm going to make a comment saying reply with your idea to this comment here. It's also going to outline a bunch of things you should include, so definitely read my comment in its entirety, and again, just reply to that thread. That's going to be where Benjamin looks to get the ideas that he wants to make into the concepts, and then I'm gonna later choose the concepts he's made and pick the ones I prefer for next week's video. This video series is quite popular, so the 500 reply limit to that comment will likely fill up pretty quickly, and I'll be there to make a comment thread number 2 as quickly as possible. Now, Benjamin actually does look at both of these threads, so don't think that if you're in thread number 2, you're not gonna get chosen. But if the first one is filled up and you don't see the second thread there, just shoot me a tweet at RickHackers and say, hey Dingus, get back to your video and make thread number 2, and I'll do it as quickly as possible. Now, as for some tips for getting chosen, firstly, remember that we're picking guns that realistically could have a chance of appearing in Destiny. So if you have a weapon that turns you into a bear after getting a kill, that sounds pretty cool, but it's not actually ever gonna make it into Destiny. Secondly, try to think, is your idea overpowered? Giving you an overshield after getting a kill is likely going to be overpowered. Anything that increases damage is likely going to be overpowered. You really need to be aware of this because we're not going to be picking extremely overpowered ideas. Now follow those tips and you should have a good chance to make it into next week's video. Now that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy and want to support this series, please remember to rate and share. This video really helps me and Benjamin out. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.